tale it tells?
Well, if we go back sort of almost 10 years ago, in 2004, there was this tragedy that occurred in the north of England, off the coast of Lancashire, in Morecambe Bay, and 23 Chinese cocker shellfish basically kind of drowned because of their lack of knowledge of how the coastal tide worked in that area where they're working, picking for cocker shells. And I think the thing that kind of really struck with me was the fact that they had travelled from such a long distance to come and meet this tragic end. And the fact that they were sort of in a way working and searching for a better life. And this resonated, I guess, with my own history, my sort of family history. My parents migrated from the Caribbean to England. And it was something which, I collected all the headlines for a couple of years, and then in 2006 invited a kind of colleague that I met, Wang Ping, a poet from Shanghai, who's based here in the United States. And a year later, she produced a poem called Small Birds. And from then on, that combined with a visit to the Fujian province, where the Chinese cocker shellfish originated from, I sort of felt, yes, I feel that this is going to be really important, I need to make this project. And subsequently, really then sort of, in a way, discovering China, and really looking at the area that they came from, and then the journey began in terms of making the work, which was a journey which involved many collaborations, and also involved many sort of ideas of how to make a work that would be, in somehow, would form some kind of paradigm shift that would sort of be a different way of looking at new images in a gallery context.
Let's drill into that a little bit, because you've made some remarkable films and you've done some remarkable installations, and you have a legion of admirers here at the museum and in New York. But what struck me when I saw this for the first time, and subsequently when I've seen it again, is at least it feels like a dramatic departure in terms of storytelling from some of your earlier work. The decision to break it up into 9 separate screens, the fact that there are moments that you can never absorb the whole story at once. Talk a little bit about your decision to not make this a single channel event.
But I guess, you take somebody like Godot itself. I've been making works in a film context for some time, and making single screen works. And I guess you could say my migration into the film world, into the art world, was really posed around the question around what is different in terms of making moving image works in a gallery context, a museum context, versus a film context. And I think one of the things for me, which has been really very interesting, is to explore, I guess, the notion of expanded cinema, to return back to some of those sort of early ideas or early experiments. And I think the question of experimentation, of trying to kind of develop new things, as technology kind of, in a way, really radically shifted and developed, because of course, trying to make a work like this would be very difficult, sort of, let's say, in the sort of 80s. It would be very difficult to have the synchronization. So, I mean, there's also something about computerization and digitalization, conversations with Art AV, Tom Cullen and Nick Joyce, who I work with, and just really trying to bring different sort of theories around viewing spectatorship, and working with Christopher Nash at Pompidou, where I had made a film called Phantom Creole, which was a 4-screen work, and what happened when we made that work is that everybody basically got their seats and pushed them into a vantage point of being able to see the 4 screens. And I thought it would be very interesting to make a work where basically this idea of looking would become more sculptural, more installation-like, and just break the kind of ways that I work in. And I think making 10,000 Waves, going to China, the experience of being in China and making this work, in a way very much resonated with trying to make something new in a video arts domain.
Mark, you want to talk a little bit about some of the technological issues that we had to deal with here to realize this project, and what it was like, in a sense, treat it not as a two-dimensional space, but ultimately as a three-dimensional space.
Yeah. I think Isaac put that very well last week when we walked through the final installation stage, and you said we can, in a way, entertain the atrium. And that I think is what happened here. We have a space that is very high, very loud, and very bright. So we needed to make sure, and our team did an amazing job, spearheaded by Aaron Lewis and Aaron Harrow from our audiovisual team, David Honnelly from the exhibition design department. We worked together, as you just mentioned, with Nick and Tom from RDV and company in Great Britain. Jamie McAllen did the screen, did the sound design, which is, I think, amazing, and we can come back to that later. And the screen design was not only Wilkinson, but there are so many other people that I cannot mention here who work on this. It is a collaborative work, as you said, both in terms of making the work, but also in making it visible here.